Okay, it's recorded. Okay, so let's all start in child's pose. Make your knees the width of your mat, toes touching. Slide your stomach in between your legs, stretch your arms, relax right in front, beyond your head, towards the front of your mat. And we'll say it for about 5 breaths. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, pulling your belly button towards your spine. Each inhale, lengthening, or each inhale, expanding your lungs, and each exhale, lengthening your spine towards the ground. On your next exhale, let's move into downward dog. Ground your palms to your mat so that your weight is evenly distributed throughout all your fingers and palms. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, pulling the belly towards the spine. Spin your inner thighs towards the back of the room. This is going to allow you to get deeper and longer into your downward dog. Be in downward dog for about 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, walk towards the top of your mat into ragdoll. Tuck your thumbs into the corner of your elbows and hang. Every inhale, expanding your chest. Every exhale takes your head closer to your top of your mat. All right, release your arms and let's meet in Tadasana at the front of your mats. Lift up, arms towards the ceiling, hands in front in prayer. We're going to do 3 ohms all together. Inhale. 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 Hands at your side. So I want you guys to set your intention for class today. It could be your breath. Every breath generates flow. It could be your drishti, so you could focus on one point in the room and then slowly let that guide you through your practice. It could be like hugging your Uddiyana Bandha and really utilizing that core throughout your practice today to bring you that balance. So we'll get started in some sun A's and sun B's. I'll do 2 sun A's and then 3 sun B's. Arms towards the ceiling, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. On your next exhale, jump or walk towards the top of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. So for about 3 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. On your next exhale, jump to the top of your mat and go through some sun bees. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale into chair. So your knees are bent, toes are touching, your back is straight. Engage your Uddiyana, stomach towards the spine. Inhale and exhale. Stay in chair, sorry. Your arms are holding a beach ball. Squeeze that beach ball. Engage your upper arms. Your next exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. We're going to take your right foot into warrior 1. So your right foot lifts and goes between your hands to the right side. Use your Uddiyana to like lift your torso and arms into the air. Your back heel is on the ground, so spin your toes towards the left of the room, your back toes towards the left of the room, and ground your back foot. And say it for a few breaths. On your next exhale, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Left foot, warrior 1. Spin your back foot down onto your mat. Toes pointing towards the right of the room. Arms are lifted up. Elbows are spinning towards one another. Pinkies towards one another to really broaden your shoulders. Give it a few more breaths. Exhale, down to chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. We're going to flow through sun bees 2 more times at your own breath, and I'll guide you through those. Next exhale, jump or walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Next inhale, go into chair. Bend your knees deeply. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Right foot, warrior 1. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Left foot, warrior one. Lift up into warrior one. Okay, forward fold, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Stay here about 2 breaths, and we're going to repeat that one last time. Next exhale, jump or walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale into chair, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Stay here for 2 breaths. On your next exhale, use your right foot and let's get into crescent lunge. Your back heel is going to be lifted. And it's going to be about vertical. It's going to be perpendicular to your mat. Stay here for about 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Letting all that airflow to your chest and exhaling. Engaging your Uddiyana Bandha. On your next exhale, spin your back heel down into warrior 2. Flip your front palm, lean forward, and go back into reverse warrior or exalted warrior. On your exhale, go down into side angle. We'll hold it here for about a few breaths. If you have a bind, go ahead and bind. If you're new to the bind, just wrap your top arm behind your back and try to fit it into the crease of your right hip. If Bird of Paradise is in your practice, go for it. Good job, Reggie. Okay, if you're in bird, meet us on the mat in bound angle. Lift back into warrior 2, and then down into chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Now we're going to do this on the left side. Crescent lunge, leading with your left foot. Make sure your back leg is lifted. Your heel and ball of your foot are going to be perpendicular to you. Excellent. Exhale into warrior 2 on your left side. Lean towards the front, flip your palm, and into exalted warrior or reverse warrior. Flow into chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. I just realized I forgot to do side. So left foot forward again. Ground your back foot. Lift into warrior 1. Pivot to warrior 2. And then take your front hand either at your knee or outside of your knee. And here you could bind if that's in your practice. Match what you did on the other side. If you went to Bird of Paradise, I'll give you some time to do that right now. Birds, meet us back on side angle. Down to chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Let's be at the top of our mat, so you can jump or walk. And go into chair. Take your hands into prayer pose. We're going to twist to the right. So this is your right, not mine. Sorry, if you're mirroring me. You could stay here, or if you want a little more of a challenge, open your arms. If you want to go into side crow, we'll be here for a few breaths. Awesome. We've got the advanced yogis over here in the window. All right, release. Forward fold. And just move into chair again. We're going to take twisted chair onto the other side. Hands at your chest and palms in prayer, and then twist to the left. Or sorry, right. Open your arms. Move into side crow. Match what you did on the other side. You're in crow, meet us back in twisted chair. Release, forward fold. Sorry. Okay. So let's go to the top of our mat, split our feet about hip width. Take your your pointer and middle finger and wrap it around your big toe. Inhale to take your spine to straight, and then exhale, move your head towards your feet. Bend at your hips. You release. Now we're going to go into crow. Has anyone here not ever done crow before? Okay, we have one person who has never done crow. So to do crow, you're going to bend at your knees, plant your hands onto the ground, move forward so that your knees are about midway up your tricep. From here, you're going to bend your arms. You're going to feel like you're going to fall forward, but press into your fingers so that you counter that action. From here, you can lift one leg and then the other, using your triceps as a shoulder for your knees. You could do one leg, and the other, and then both. So we'll do this for about 3 breaths. Go ahead and play with it. Okay, so on your next exhale, jump or release from crow down into chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. I'll say for about 2 more breaths. All right, walk or jump to the front of your mat. We're going to go through the standing series now. So lift up into Tadasana, arms towards the ceiling. Wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. We're going to go into Garudasana, or eagle pose. Bend at your hips, lift your right leg, cross it over, and then if you can, tuck your foot behind your left calf, your right foot behind your left calf. Square your hips. Spin your inner thighs towards the back of your room. This is going to give you more access into grounding this pose. Release, arms into the air. Let's do it on the other side. So wrap your left arm underneath your right. Bend at your hips like you're going into chair. Lift your left leg and wrap it around your right. And if possible, tuck your left foot behind your right calf. Release. Now we're going to go into standing knee to hand or hand to foot pose. So engage your Uddiyana Bandha, square your hips, lift your knee, and then place your right hand on top of it. Or if this is possible for you, grab your big toe with your right hand. Lift your left arm up and open your right foot towards the wall. You can gaze forward, or you can take your gaze to your other extended hand to the left. All right, take your foot back to center. Release and keep your leg in the air. Really pull your leg in towards your butt so that you can, and you can hold your leg higher. From here, exhale, and we'll go into Dekasana or airplane. Square your hips towards the ground. Keep your chest lifted above your hips. Release, both feet on the ground into Tadasana. Now we're going to move on to the left leg. Extended knee or hand to foot pose. So grab your knee or your big toe, extend your leg, extend your right arm towards the ceiling, and then open up with your right foot towards the left window. Take your gaze towards your extended hand, towards the left. Release. Take your leg back in front of you. Exhale into Dekasana. Square your hips. Wrist to hands. So lift your chest up. Release. Now we're going to go to Dancer, not Charjasana. You're going to take your left hand towards the ceiling, put out your right hand like as if you're holding a bowl of soup. Take it back into your inner right foot. And from here, start to lift your leg. Don't move your chest yet until your leg is about over your head, and then you can move forward. Release. Let's go to the other side. So right hand up, left hand into your inner foot. Lift your leg. Start to bend at your back. And as soon as that foot is right above your head, lean forward. Release. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to do tree. Tree's really fun. So there's 3 ways to get into tree. The first is foot to the right outside of your inner ankle. Second is right inside of your upper calf. And the last one is right tucked inside this area. Into the crease of your groin. So you could bring your hands to prayer. If you want to take it up a notch, open your hands towards the ceiling and maybe even take your gaze up. Follow that line up towards the ceiling and put a little slight back bend into your tree. Look towards the front of the room again, hands to prayer, release your leg. Let's do it on the other side. release. And if anytime you feel a little bit exhausted during this practice, feel free to go back into child pose. So let's do that. Let's go into child pose. Feet together, heels width or knees width of your mat, and then fall right between your knees. All right, let's meet in downward dog. We're gonna go through our grounding series right now. This is where we do the triangle, side forward fold, and twisted triangle. So let's take your right foot towards the top of your mat into warrior two. Straighten your front leg, pivot your hips towards the front of the room, and then either place your hand on your shin or outside of your right leg into a triangle. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Okay, release into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Let's go into the other side. Left foot, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, triangle. You have to be on your the outside of your front leg or on your shin. Okay, release into warrior two, chaturanga, reverse warrior, and then chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Okay. So let's get back into warrior two with your right foot. Straighten your leg, pivot your front foot towards the left side of the room. You could either do reverse namaste behind your back, so palms facing one another behind your back, or you could do extended grip behind your back. From here, you're going to pivot at your hip, avoiding your neighbor's butt, and take your head towards the ground. Every exhale or inhale, expanding your chest, and every exhale, taking you closer to the ground. Make sure you keep your knees soft to protect your joints. And if it's in your practice, go ahead and go into tripod headstand. To the ground, and let's lay in Supta Baddha Konasana. So palms of the feet are together, knees are open wide. One hand at your heart and one hand at your stomach. get into my favorite. We're gonna do some core work. So, sit up. We're gonna do some yogi bicycles. So, well, we call this yogi bicycles because we're in a yoga class, but it's basically just doing bicycles. And the slower you move, the better it is for your core. Yes, every exhale, take your elbows towards the opposite knee. We'll do about a 30-second count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Release. You take your knees towards your chest. Rock left to right. Release that tension on your back. Okay. So now we're going to rock up and down our spine about 3 times. One's the front of the room, back of the room. And on your 3rd roll, come into downward dog. So that could either be moving really slowly through it or hopping through your hands into downward dog. Thanks, Wyatt. Just like that. All right, we're going to take our right foot now and go into half pigeon pose. So if possible, your front leg is going to be parallel to the front of your mat. You're going to square your hips. You can either keep the top of your foot on the ground or tuck your toes under so that your foot is perpendicular to the ground. From here, inhale to lift up, exhale to lay right on top of your front leg. Arms could be extended, or you could make a little pillow by stacking your hands atop of one another and underneath your forehead. We're going to stay here for about 10 breaths. Now this pose is usually very difficult for me because I have tight hips. So I usually say a little mantra in my mind. Every inhale I say let, every exhale I say go. So let, go. And let yourself just melt into the posture. Okay, let's get back up, release, into downward dog. We're going to do it on the other side. Lift your left foot, half pigeon. ahead and release. Take your right foot and have it meet at the front of your mat along with your left foot. We're going to go into forward fold. So flex your feet so that your toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Lift your arms towards the ceiling and fold at your hips forward. Release. Let's go to tabletop. So your feet are going to be hip width. Your hands are going to be about a foot behind you, right behind your shoulders. You're going to lift from your stomach, take it towards the ceiling, and go to tabletop. This is going to give you a great shoulder stretch. Take your gaze towards the back of the room. Okay, release. We're going to do one more pose before Savasana. We're going to do shoulder stand. So to get into shoulder stand, you lay on your mat, kind of try to get your hips right above your shoulders, using your hands, put them at the middle of your back. Shoulders tucked right underneath your torso, and then straighten your legs into the air. Okay, release from this pose and take your knees on either side of your head into Deaf Man's pose. You can keep your hands at your lower back or at your middle back, or you could, interlock them right in front of your butt. All right, let's release and lie down on your mat. Slowly use your arms to slowly bring your legs to the ground. And do a quick supine twist. So take your right leg towards your right armpit and then spin it to the left side. Release, and let's go to the other side. Release, Lion Savasana. Heels towards one another, feet towards the corner of your mats, hands facing the ceiling. Thank you so much for joining me during your lunch break today. I do have a request. I have some feedback forms on the outside table right there. If you guys would complete that, you could be brutally honest. It's my first time teaching this long of a class, and I would like the feedback. And yeah, thanks again for joining me. I hope to see you guys again soon.
Good job. You're just learning? Or, I mean, you're just brave, so you teaching somewhere else?
Yeah, well, I'm doing a yoga teacher training program.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the tasks I'm going to be taking. It's a 1 hour class.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's fun. Because I was even sweating.
I've heard there are some on the
instructing.
10th floor, but I've never actually used it.
So 11 for,
Yeah.
yours is on the 10th. But yeah, it's on the 11th floor bathroom. I've used them